I know we're all keeping up with the Grimoire chapter. Whilst following the trend of it, I kind of got lost in other licenses and just began to think of some other licenses we could potentially see in Dead by Daylight. After reviewing a bunch of your guys' comments, I've come up with this list of the most wanted killers in Dead by Daylight. They may or may not be the most wanted, but these have the highest quantity of requests or like little wants that I found in my comment section and others. That being said, most definitely did not get them all. So make sure you leave yours in the comments of this video so I can include it in the next video that I do of this. Alrighty, let's get into it. I'm gonna start this off with the Indoraptor from Jurassic World. I feel like the Indoraptor would make such an epic addition into Dead by Daylight. It would follow along with the Xenomorph as well in style anyway. Power-wise, I think it could be unique, especially if behavior would like to incorporate any form of climbing, or maybe something similar to Xenomorph with the vents, but they're connected to roofs and floors instead of just random mounts around the map. It will most definitely be a stealth killer of sorts, but I can't really feel my way through the power. Or alternatively, it could even have sort of like a prey mode where it crawls around very slowly on all fours with no terror radius and then has some sort of built up pounce. And also, just imagine a Jurassic Park or world map. AI dinosaurs, ambient noises, this would be the coolest freaking map in existence. AI dinosaurs stay behind the cage though, obviously. I was getting a lot of comments about Bendy and the Ink Machine, so I will go ahead and say that the Ink Demon seems like an absolutely awesome character to have in the game. I know nothing about this franchise, but these creatures look sick, or this creature, I'm sorry, I have no idea what I'm talking about. And I don't want it as an artist skin. I've seen a couple concept as an artist skin. I don't want it as artist. I want a whole new character. I do not like how artist functions. That being said, among all this, there is actually something to back it as well. The creator of Bendy and the Ink Machine actually did state that they would love to collaborate with Dead by Daylight on a chapter, so this actually might not be too far off. Up next, I'm going to be talking about our boy Pennywise. Now, I don't know how possible it will actually be to get Pennywise in the game, but it Welcome to Derry brought a whole bunch of new fans and definitely made the IP sort of renewed in a way, if that makes sense. It made the license a lot more wanted in the game. It made everybody way more attached. Power-wise, they can basically do whatever they want and make him whatever they want. An underground sewer dairy map would be so unbelievably awesome. Secondly, his Welcome to Derry scene where he is hibernating and covered in blood would make for the best prestige cosmetic in Dead by Daylight. They've started to do their little references like with Dracula and 11. This would be epic. Plus, I'm pretty sure like everybody wants Pennywise. I can't think of someone who can actually turn around and go like, I don't want that guy in the game, without being like, I have coulrophobia, because there's already a clown. Pennywise would make an epic addition, and I don't think anybody would be mad at that. I do think he's basically on at least most people's dream list. Now, the next one I'm about to speak about is quite interesting. So Slenderman was brought up a lot. Like, I'm talking a lot. A lot of people seem to want him, and that's unexpected to me. I never really seen him as a big IP that people would really enjoy seeing in Dead by Daylight, but I guess I'm wrong. And the more I think about it, the more I straight up think he'd be one of the best choices for a license. I feel like he'd operate similar to Pinhead, but instead of, you know, chains grabbing them, it would be more like an injury or some sort of ranged attack. I can definitely imagine them having some sort of like slow power build-up, kind of similar to Onryo, but instead of TVs, there's pages and interacting with them. Maybe like, okay, hold up, power concept, okay? So when you start the trial as Slenderman, right? 2 generators are not blocked off whilst the rest are. These 2 are the furthest away from each other, so that survivors still have a chance to do at least 1 gen at the start of the game. The other generators only unblock as you collect up to a total of 8 pages, and as you collect the pages, Slenderman grows in strength somehow. I'm not sure how they would get this to work, but that's just a concept. A very quick 2-second on-the-spot thought of concept. Obviously, his tentacles would be more like a range sort of around the corner hit, or maybe even like, yeah, drag and pull back, kind of similar to Deathslinger. Or even then, maybe if like one survivor collects too many pages, when they're on death hook, you can special mori them. Either way, I feel like there's some epic concepts for him, and I'm all here for it. Up next, we obviously have our boy Jason. Now, according to leakers, and this is sheer speculation, it's already basically confirmed that he's going to be added. I haven't spoken on this because there is no viable actual background to it, but it wouldn't surprise me. Jason's now in a place where he can basically just be added to whatever the hell the license holders want. However, he is limited in the way he looks or appears, but either way, getting Jason was to be getting Jason, and he is wanted by a majority of the community. Although a lot of people seem to believe he's just going to be a secondary trapper or a skin for trapper, I think that is a horrific understatement of what Jason actually is. It's quite clear a lot of people just know him by the looks. What his power would be, I genuinely have no idea, but I do know he is being wanted like crazy. It is the last major IP besides stuff like Candyman and Jeepers Creepers, which, you know, we can't get, that we really need for Dead by Daylight to fit the original slasher trope. There is a few more, of course, like I just mentioned, but Jason would definitely be one of the biggest ones. So I do hope we get him, and I really hope those leaks are correct. I can't find the leaks anywhere online, but I've seen it in a couple of videos, and it would be cool. After Jason, we have someone who's even more requested than Jason, and that is actually Art the Clown, surprisingly enough. It's not very surprising. He's a very modern slasher and he is super cool. He'd have a name like the Mime and I have no idea what his power would be, so I'm not even going to try. What I do know is he has crazy epic skin potential, and it definitely seems like the director actually would love to see Art in Dead by Daylight, as once before he even tried spamming and reaching out to Matthew Cote about getting Art the Clown in Dead by Daylight. And I will say, a little bit suspicious, they did stop talking entirely and stop calling each other out, so I guess that means something behind the scenes may be happening? I don't know though. I'm sure we would all love to have Art in the game, as it's just such a sick horror movie. Plus he'd just be like dope. Alrighty, and that is everything for today, I believe. Now, like I said, I definitely did not get all of them, so let me know if you want a part 2 on this, and I'll happily do it straight away. I think these characters are going to be so cool for Dead by Daylight, and I think there's a very high chance of them being added in. I mean, if Behavior knows what they're doing with the contracts, then they will definitely be added in. I mean, Art the Clown is literally, the director is quite literally spamming them, or was. This was a while ago, but chapters take a while to make, so maybe he could be. I'm gonna call it, he's coming in the game either this year or next year. That one is basically confirmed, I would say. But yeah, let me know what ones you guys want to see in the game, and I'll be happy to do a part 2, or maybe even a series on YouTube Shorts and TikTok and stuff. Just maybe doing power concepts. I might do a couple more of those. I don't know. Anyway, if you enjoyed, have a good day or night depending on where you live, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.